Hey all, welcome to Share Trick. This is Raj here, friends. I'm going to keep this very short. As a amateur content creator, I'm always trying to improve myself. I think my videos are too long. These days, nobody has the time span to actually sit and watch everything. So first, I'm just going to show you the indices, and then directly we are going into the genomics. And even in genomics, not going to talk about all the stocks. If you guys are specifically interested in any stock, please put that in the comment. I'll make sure that I'll cover them in addition to whatever I cover on a daily basis. With that said, let's get started. Welcome back, friends. I just want to quickly show you the futures. The S&P 500 futures is down 1.10. The futures market is still open. Nasdaq futures is down 1.16%. Again, Nasdaq futures is also still open. And if you look at the dollar index has fallen below this range of resistance. And it makes the dollar much inexpensive compared to other currencies. This is not great, especially with the tariffs, because the purchasing power of dollar is going down. Then if you look at the 10-year yields, they have raised. So this reverse head and shoulder pattern probably is not going to materialize. And this indicates the fear in the mind of the investors that the economy is not doing well. So when the yields raise, the face value of the bonds go down. This would be reflected in the regional bank stocks going down, and there will be a lot of pressure on regional banks in IWM, in Russell Index. If you check out that, you will find that those stocks will come under pressure. So that's an extra information I can give. Going forward, USD, Japanese yen, the yen unwind trade is something that we have to closely watch. With that said, let's go to Genomics. Ginkgo Bioworks is the first stock. It was down 10.14%. You can see this huge red candle. And the red candle has come almost exactly to half of the green candle. So there is a good possibility that tomorrow we'll lose even more, and we'll probably check the support of 4.59. The resistance is going to be out here at 7.81. If you look at the MACD, it is still bullish, and momentum is dropping, and it's below average. So I'm thinking that tomorrow Ginkgo is likely to go down. And then if you look at Sangamo, it had a really good boost with the BBB stack announcement and partnership with Eli Lilly. It's given up all of that. 11.19% is the drop for today, and it has more or less retested all the gains that it got earlier. And the MACD is also bearish, and momentum is also below average. And post-market, it's down 1.24%. Grail managed to stay on top of this diagonal line of support from the previous bear channel. It was a resistance for the previous bear channel, but now it has become a support. And as predicted yesterday, we had resistance out here, which managed to push us down. The resistance at 25.97 is what pushed us down, because during the day, we opened exactly on top of this resistance, and then we came down and we broke through all of them and converted them all of those supports into resistance. And right now the MACD is bearish and momentum is also weak. Nothing great for Grail. Now, if you look at PACB came down 9.09%, and it managed to break through the area of support at 1.21 that we had when we did the video yesterday, because we closed up here yesterday at around 1.32, but we are back again. And for tomorrow, our support is going to be 1.11 and our resistance is going to be 1.21. The MACD is looking bullish, but the momentum is below average. So this is the range within which it's going to travel. And if I look at IMTX has created a kind of trend reversal symbol, and I don't think it has completed half of yesterday's candle. So I'm just holding out hope that probably it could have a turnaround. The main problem for this share is that the MACD is very bearish, but it's not as bearish as it has ever been before, that it could bounce back. And the momentum is not yet oversold, and the RSI is not yet oversold, but it's very, very close to that. But it's been way below that in the past. So I don't know whether it could complete the trend reversal or if it will fizzle out and it will come back down. If the trend reversal happens, I am thinking that we'll have a resistance at 4.15. mRNA was down 3.90%. We have a trend reversal kind of a situation out here. Again, the same story like IMTX. I think yesterday's scandal is a misnomer because there was a rumor that said Trump is going to postpone the tariffs by 90 days, and that kind of gave a boost to the market. People are looking for some hope to cling to. And that's why we have this candle. It could also be a distraction for us. Maybe we should disregard that green candle. I really don't know. My personal experience with this kind of a situation is very limited. This is the first time I'm facing it. So I'm going to think that for IMPX as well as mRNA, I'm going to disregard yesterday's green candle, and I'm going to assume that we are on our path down, and our resistance is continuing to be 29.70. MACD is bearish, and also momentum is very low. RSI is oversold, but it could go down further. ARC-G was down 4.48% in today's trade, and it's down 1.42% post-market, and it's going to have a good support tomorrow for 17.74, and it's going to have a resistance at 19.59. Next, I'm looking at Iowa, which is down 5.94%, and it's still below this diagonal line of resistance. In fact, it just kissed that line and came back down, and that line is a dynamic line of resistance. So for tomorrow, the resistance is going to be 2.85. Right now in post-market, it has lost 1.05%, and it's at 2.82. Beam Therapeutics is down 4.97% during the day, and it managed to convert this support, which was at 15.01 yesterday, into a resistance. If you recollect, yesterday we opened low, we came down, and then we zipped up, and then we closed above this line. So we had made this into a support. Now it's back being a resistance. MACD is bearish. Momentum is very weak, and we are very oversold. So there could be a dead cat bounce possibility tomorrow. So I would think that our resistance will be challenged tomorrow for Beam. Vertex is down 1.03% in post-market trades, and during the day it fell 0.46%. It still remains below this diagonal line of resistance, and this is a kind of trend reversal pattern. And MACD is mending itself, but momentum is below average. So I don't know what to expect from Vertex. Vertex has been a strong stock, but I'm getting increasingly wary of the possibility of a head and shoulder forming, because we could have this as a head, this as a shoulder, this as a head, and even this could be a shoulder, and this could be a head, and we may be forming another shoulder. So we'll watch Vertex very carefully. We won't take any decision right now. We'll evaluate it and see what happens. Allergen was down 4.90% today, and it fell below this diagonal line of resistance after having gone above it and converted it back into a resistance. Remember, guys, Allergen gapped up and opened way above this diagonal line of resistance. Yesterday, when we were looking at it, it was below this diagonal line of resistance. So it opened gap up, it went up a little bit, and then it came down, and finally it was supported by this horizontal line of support at 1.35. That's what I'm trying to say, friends. I'm getting even more confident with every day of trading with technical analysis, because we make this analysis of what's going to be the resistance and what's going to be the support, and it ends up happening exactly like that. I'm deploying it to my day trades now, and I'm using the 5-minute chart. Of course, smaller time frame charts are very noisy, so the probability of those patterns working out is less than in a long-term chart of, say, daily proportions or weekly proportions. So I'm feeling much more confident and bold. So this is another example of technical analysis working out. We have MACD melding and mending up, but momentum is very weak. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with Allergen. The same resistance and support will work, but this being a dynamic resistance, I'm going to say it's going to be 1.4 to the resistance for tomorrow, and support for tomorrow 1.35. Now let's look at CRISPR Therapeutics and see if we can find any patterns out here. I don't see any major patterns. One thing I can say is that there is a gap down which will attract as a magnet on the way up, and that's what happened today. We opened up, we gapped up and opened up today, and then we went up a little bit in an attempt to cover this gap. But unfortunately for us, the market found out that 90-day postponement of tariffs was a rumor, and therefore the market started coming down. And you can see here, the candle, it broke through this diagonal line of support, and it came down. It went up, it broke the resistance, it came down, it broke the support and converted it to a resistance back again. And it came exactly onto this horizontal line of support at 31.15. Friends, the support worked again and the resistance worked again. And that's what is very important for me, because if you look at this chart carefully, for CRISPR especially, because you guys are all very focused on CRISPR, you look at this, this was our bear flag pattern analysis. We said this is the bear flag, and if it breaks out, and it broke out from here, so we put the line out here, and we said this is going to be the bottom for a price target for the bear flag, and it happened. And right now we said this is going to be the resistance, and it was a resistance. So I'm feeling good day by day. I don't know about you guys, but please put in the comment if you find these resistance and support levels that I'm giving you useful. It will motivate me, and it will also make me feel better as a retail investor, make me have more confidence. With that, my friends, let's go on to Illumina. Illumina is down 4.29% today, and later on when the market closed, it went down a further 0.43%. We had a support at 74.09. We opened above the support, we gapped up and opened above the support, and then we promptly came down. And yesterday, I said that this is going to be our support, 58.77. Today, again, I reiterate that going to be the support, and this is going to be the resistance, 74.21. Let's go on to Intelia. Intelia was down 3.98% during the trading hours, and after hours, it's up 1.11%. Now, it's still below this diagonal line of resistance. And friends, out here, we had done a reverse head and shoulders. We had said this was going to be the target. We met and achieved the target, and then we are going down further. Now, this could be a trend reversal pattern out here. We have a red candle, a lower green candle, and a higher red candle. We'll have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. But when I look at the MACD and when I look at the momentum, it's not very encouraging. So I'll leave it at that. And then let's go on to Caribou Biosciences, which was up 4.30% during the day. It managed to pierce this diagonal line of resistance from this bear channel, but it didn't have enough juice. It promptly came down. We had a thin range of trading. And that's the story for Caribou Biosciences. MACD is also bearish. Momentum is also very low. And if you look at Editas, Editas was down 1.99% today. It's still below this horizontal line of support. It's a minor support at 1.77, which got converted into a resistance. Right now, that's going to play the role of resistance for tomorrow. And next one I want to look at is Unicure, which was down 4.79% today, unable to break through this diagonal line of resistance. See, it kissed the line and then it came back. And the support is at 7.92. The 7.92 is going to remain the support for tomorrow, whereas the resistance is going to be 9.53. Next, Bluebird, 1.05% is the gain for Bluebird in pre-market. Post-market, there are no trades. I don't understand how Bluebird works, but if it wasn't for the buyout, I would say that we have a cup and handle pattern out here and we should look at something spectacular, but that doesn't make sense anymore. Altimmune was down 7.79%. Again, my friends, look at this. Look at this. I'm just going to expand this for you and recalibrate so that you can see it clearly. Just look at this chart. Pierce this line of support and move back up. Yesterday, what did we say? We said this will be the resistance at 6.21. This will be the support at 3.57. Same thing happened. So for tomorrow, this is going to be the support, and the next support is going to be 3.19, and the resistance is going to be 6.23. That's what I'm thinking at this point of time. But wait a minute, we have another resistance out here which we need to plot. There was a gap up, gap down. So we have one resistance here, and we have another resistance here. So these are the two resistances that we have. So for tomorrow, the first resistance is going to be 5.08. First support is going to be 3.58. Second support is going to be 3.19. Let's look at Prime. In Prime, you can see that we have this horizontal line of resistance, which is a minor line of resistance at 1.73, which was our resistance for yesterday, and it continues to be the resistance for today. And I think tomorrow we are likely to probably bounce back up again a little bit and then come back down, because MACD is bearish and momentum is also very low. RSI is very low. There's got to be a bounce back happening, a dead cat bounce for this stock. And then if you look at Verve was down 11.08% yesterday. It managed to stay just above this diagonal line of support. Guys, yet another example. Line of support worked perfectly. So we had 1 touch point, 2 touch point, 3 touch point, 4 touch point. That's all. And then we projected it forward, connected it to this touch point for today. And we did this before this candle was formed. And that's the thing about technical analysis. With just these touch points, we made a diagonal line and it was respected by this candle for today. So that gives me a great deal of happiness, confidence, and I believe more in technical analysis with every passing day, especially as I start making profits with it. Well, friends, that brings me to an end of this video. I thank you guys for making Share Trek a nice place for genomics and for bringing me back to focus on genomics. I have really learned a lot by doing this channel. I thank each and every one of you for being a friend of mine in this journey. And going forward, I'm feeling more confident that I can come to you with more specific, actionable ideas on technical analysis. Of course, everything I say is going to be my personal opinion and not financial advice. So you can take what I have, analyze it by yourself. Once you feel comfortable and confident, then you can decide on your own whether you're going to use those ideas for trade or not. With that, my friends, I'd like to bring this video to an end. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.